friends, my name is Anna and welcome to 5 Days of Christmas Cookies, a new series where I will be showing you Christmas cookie recipes for 5 days. These are perfect to make cookie boxes, to share with your friends and family, to enjoy by yourself. No one's judging. They are so yummy and delicious. And for day one, I will be showing you how to make hot chocolate cookies. You heard it. They are as delicious as they sound. So let me show you the ingredients so we can go ahead and get started. You are going to need all-purpose flour, baking soda, granulated sugar, and brown sugar, a chocolate bar. You're gonna need marshmallows, chocolate chips, butter, egg, and your cocoa powder. You're also going to need a little bit of salt, but that is pretty much it. And as you can see, I'm using two different types of chocolates, and that it's because chocolate bars don't have any anti-caking agents to it, because that's what makes your chocolate chips from not sticking together. And they are perfect for cookies, but they won't, like chocolate chips won't melt as beautiful as just like a regular chocolate bar will. So that is why I am including both different types of chocolates, because the chocolate bar is going to provide little pools of chocolate in your cookie that are going to be magnificent, and you don't want to miss out on that. The first thing we want to do is mix our dry ingredients. So I am going to add some baking soda to my flour, as well as a little bit of salt. And the full written recipe for all of the cookie recipes you can find on my website, anitasdelightsrecipes.com. I'm always going to leave a link for it in the description box with the full written recipe. So after you add your baking soda and your salt, you are going to give it just a quick mix to incorporate everything. There we go, just a quick little one. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. And now in a big bowl like this bowl, kind of like a medium bowl, you are going to cream your butter and both kinds of sugar. So I'm going to add butter, sugar. Make sure your butter is unsalted. If it's salted, just remove a little bit of the salt that's required in the recipe. I'm going to use my hand mixer to do this, but of course you can do this by hand. So you just want to cream the whole thing until it's kind of pasty, about a minute. Okay, this looks wonderful. As you can see, my butter and sugars are nice and creamy. Now we are going to add in the egg, and we mix this in once again. Okay, make sure you grab a rubber spatula and you scrape down the sides of your bowl, because as you can see on the sides you'll find a lot of unmixed dough, and you want to make sure everything is nicely mixed and nicely incorporated. Now we add a little splash of vanilla extract and our dry ingredients, which are our flour, salt, baking soda, and our cocoa powder. I'm using unsweetened cocoa powder. And I also want to mention that it's very important that all of the ingredients are room temperature, otherwise they won't mix properly and your dough is not going to come out as good and it's not going to bake as evenly. So please make sure that your butter, your eggs, everything's at room temperature. Now we mix in our dry ingredients. We're going to start on low so everything doesn't just fly all over the place. Just like before, we want to make sure that we scrape down the sides of our bowl to fully incorporate all of the flour. They love to just stay chilling on the side and they never want to fully incorporate. So we got to give them a little help. Just like so, and we keep mixing. This looks great. So you can see everything's nicely incorporated. We're gonna set it aside and we are going to give our chocolate bars a quick chop. See, I like to do just a rough chop just to get them slightly smaller. And I'm using dark chocolate, but you can use milk chocolate. Semi-sweet baking chocolate bars is just some regular eating chocolate. You wanna make sure that you grab a chocolate that you actually enjoy, because you will taste it. Now I'm also going to roughly chop my marshmallows. You can of course leave them whole, but I find that they just kind of mix in the cookies a little bit better and you have little pools of marshmallow melted marshmallow bits all over your cookie. Now, I'm going to add all of my chocolate chips and about half of my chocolate chunks. I'm gonna leave a little bit behind because those are gonna go on top of the cookies. And then I'm gonna do the same thing about 3/4 of my marshmallows, and I'm gonna leave a little bit because I'm gonna put it on top. And now we just simply mix them all in until nicely incorporated. That way you make sure that every cookie is absolutely loaded with goodness. Okie dokie. So everything is nicely mixed in. Now all you want to do is start preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna do that. My oven takes about 10 minutes to preheat. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge for about 10 minutes, then we scoop it and we bake it. My oven's preheated. My cookie dough was in the fridge for about 13 minutes roughly. I have a big baking sheet lined with some parchment paper, and we are ready to start scooping our cookies. I'm using a small ice cream scoop or a cookie scoop, and I am going to pretty much scoop some of this dough. You want it about 3 inches apart so they have plenty of room to spread. And now if you don't want to bake the whole batch, and I do want to say that this is just half the recipe because I've been making lots of cookies, so I was like perfecting the recipe and whatnot. So I am swimming in cookies, and I'm only making half the recipe now. But if you do want to freeze some of these, what you can do is like scoop them just like this, add the toppings and pop it in the freezer until they are solid, and then you can add them to a Ziploc bag and you can keep it in the freezer for about a month. And once you're ready to bake, all you have to do is pop them on a baking sheet, and then you're gonna bake instead of 8 minutes around 12 minutes, because you need to add a little more cooking time since they will bake from frozen. Now all you want to do is load them up with a little more extra chocolate chunks. Like I said, these are going to create little pools of chocolate, and it's going to be fantastical and magical and so yummy. And I'm going to do the same exact thing with our marshmallows. These are ready to go into my oven. They are going to bake at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. It just usually depends on how hot your oven gets. Mine takes about 8 minutes. I'm gonna pop these in and I'll show you what they look like once they are baked. My hot chocolate cookies are finally out of the oven. I let them rest. Well, first of all, they baked for 10 minutes, so it took about 10 minutes. And I also let them rest on the baking sheet for about 2 minutes, and then I transferred to a wire rack. And here we have them. They are delicious. I'm going to give you a close-up because you deserve a close-up of this deliciousness that this cookie is. I want you to look at the little pools of chocolate that you create. Look at that. And look at that melted marshmallow. These are always an absolute delight. Look at that chocolate pool and the marshmallow. They're extremely chocolatey, just like a hot chocolate with the marshmallows. They're decadent, and they are absolutely perfection. They're also quite messy, as you can see, but so delicious. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. Give me a thumbs up if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.